I was in academia studying economics, and when I moved to Rwanda to close out my PhD, I met Niku, who was our MD for healthcare at the time, and yeah, the rest is history. My name is Pamela Icyeza. I am the country director for SAND in both Rwanda and Central Africa, and I have been with SAND for a year and a half now, since the beginning of 2025. I try to develop a theory to explain why governments, specifically African governments, borrow from private markets through the Eurobond borrowing instead of much cheaper concessional financing. There was actually very little data. So I spent majority of the time in my PhD creating data sets, seeking data, trying to piece together a variety of different data. I think that process really made me inherently passionate about data as a concept itself. And yeah, I think that's what led me to be interested in how do you create data systems in African settings in general. I think it really showed me the importance of having system-wide data. And when I came to work for SAND, it is very similar type of work in the sense of we're interested in collecting data that tells you about the entirety of the system. One of the things that drew me to SAND is that question would be answered from a really a systems view. It would be interested in collecting the clinical data itself, but also the workforce data, but also the characteristics of the workforce, but also, if possible, the systems, right? Critical systems today are reactive instead of predictive because we don't have a lot of data on them, right? So we find out that something is going to break when it has broken. Real-world operational data is very difficult to collect and work with because it's so vast. These are fundamentally non-stagnant systems. They change constantly. They change when the people that are running them change. They change when the composition of students in an educational system change. They change when a specific donor decides to dedicate funding to a specific area, right? So these are systems that are not only incredibly complicated and complex and vast, but they're also consistently changing. The role of sensors and other hardware in SAND in general really sits within our SENSE Analyze Act framework in the sense part, specifically in the collection part. With some of the work that we did with Society for Family Health, for example, we deployed fridge sensors, right? So these were sensors that were deployed in health posts where they were collecting data on the temperature of the fridge, specifically fridges that had medication and vaccines in them. The idea there being, we know generally that there are some vaccines, if stored incorrectly in terms of temperature, they become less inviable, right? So the idea was, if this is captured, one, to fix the fridge really quickly to prevent any spillage, but also if it has been down long enough to communicate to the healthcare workers that these are no longer safe to be used. The responsibility that comes with building intelligent systems for critical infrastructure, but also specifically building systems that have artificial intelligence built into them, is the responsibility to build them for their specific context. And I think that means a myriad of different things, but most importantly, make sure the system itself is actually context specific. I think what personally motivates me to continue working in this space is how much work is in this space. There's so much work. It's incredibly exciting. I think if you were to look at my job description or my JD, you would probably assume I spend 90% of my work in the health sector, which is completely untrue. I spend so much work in other sectors, right? In thinking through how to develop and deploy these systems in agriculture, in education, in environmental management, etc. And in every single sector, with every single different stakeholder, be it government or partner that I talk to, the relevance and importance and level of impact that these systems promise and deploying an intelligent system promise is so incredibly huge. I think the advice I would have for technical talent or talent in general is get your hands on a project. I think I work for a tech company, and I think it's typical in tech culture that yes, years and years and years of education is relevant, but also on-the-job training, on-the-job learning is equally as relevant. So get your hands on a project, try and solve one problem, and then come tell us at SAND that you solved that problem, and we'll give you more problems to solve.